Here we go with Excel, 5th grade Excel lesson 50. We got a ton to do, so I'm going to be going real fast. And if you get lost, then go ahead and rewind and watch it again. But here we go. Since these two fractions do not have the same denominator, they cannot be combined in their present form. We can't add halves and fourths together. We have to make them be the same. And so from working with equivalent fractions, you have learned that the same fraction can be written in different ways. The problem on the right shows how one of the fractions was changed so they could be combined. So we changed 1/2 over here to 2/4, so now they both have fourths. And 2/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 3/4. And most of you know that 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. All right, let's go on. And look at the problem on the left. The two fractions cannot be combined because they do not have the same denominator. 2 and 3, not the same. Unlike the previous example, halves cannot be written as thirds, nor can thirds be written as halves. Both fractions will have to be changed. I can't change 1/2 into something that has 3 as the denominator. It's not going to work. I can't change 1/3 into something that has 2 as the denominator. That won't work as well. The easiest solution is to change both of them to equivalent fractions where the denominator is referred to as the lowest common denominator or the lowest common multiple. Look at the fractions on the right to see how they have been changed. So here's how we're going to do these types of problems. We have 1/2 and 1/3. We have to find the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, and 6. The multiples of 3 are 3 and 6. And 6 is the smallest number that's in both lists. You guys have learned how to do lowest common multiple so far, and that's all you're doing with the denominators. Find the lowest common multiple. And in this case it's 6, so the 6 is written here. Now to go from 2 to 6, we have to multiply by 3. So we do the same thing to the numerator. 1 times 3 is 3. To go from 3 to 6, we have to multiply by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And you guys have already learned how to do this type of a thing in equivalent fractions. Now once we have the same denominator, we can add them together. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. 5/6. All right, we're going to work through some of these together, and so you can see how they're done. 1/8 and 1/4, the lowest common multiple of 8 and 4. And the way that I figure this out is I always just count by eighths, or the biggest number of the two denominators. So the multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, etc. I stop at each one of those multiples and I ask myself, does the other number go in evenly? So the first multiple of 8 is 8. And I stop and say, does 4 go into 8 evenly? Yes, it does. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as my common denominator, 8. Now 1/8 is equal to 1/8. There's nothing, this number would be missing at first. I wouldn't have that one. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Here I have the 8, and I'm going to multiply 4 times 2 to get the 8. 1 times 2 is equal to 2. So 1/8 plus 2/8 is equal to 3/8. Now we're going to do this next one together. Get ready to write with me. 6 and 3. The largest of the two numbers is what I want to skip count by. 6. First count of 6 is 6. I stop and say, does 3, the other denominator, go into 6 evenly? Yes, it does. So that's going to be my common denominator. I write 6's in both spots. Go ahead and do that. And then I'd say 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1/3 is equal to 2/6. You should already know how to do that. 1/6 is equal to 1/6, obviously. And then I add those together and get 3/6, which is equal to 1/2. You don't have to do this at this point in time, which is reducing your answer, simplifying your answer, but that is the same thing, 3/6 and 1/2. All right, let's take a look at this next one, 1/2 minus 3/10. Again, take the biggest of the two numbers, the 10. Skip count by that. The first count of 10 is 10. Go ahead and write that on your paper. And 2 goes into 10 evenly, so that's our common denominator. And we put a 10 there as well. So 3/10 is equal to 3/10. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way because that's super easy. And then I'm going to change 1/2 into tenths. This is just like those fraction problems that you've been doing for quite a while in your paper where they have a little box with a missing number. We know that 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Now this is a subtraction problem, so I subtract and get 2/10 or 1/5. Let's do this next one together as well. 3 and 4. Now, skip count by the larger of the two numbers. That would be the 4. First count of 4 is 4. Does 3 go into 4? No, it doesn't. Does the next count of 4 is 8. Does 3 go into 8? No, it doesn't, not evenly. The next count of 4 is 12. Does 3 go into 12 evenly? Yes, it does. So we're going to use 12 as our common denominator. Write that down on your paper there. And then now we decide how are we going to find this missing number up here. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. I know that's pretty small, but I got to write small to fit it. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is equal to 3. This is a subtraction problem, so when we subtract, we get 5/12. All right, the next one, we have 4/5 plus 1/10. Skip count the bigger number, 10. First count of 10 is 10. Does 5 go into 10 evenly? Yes, it does. So that's our denominator. 1/10 is equal to 1/10. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9/10. All right, these next problems, they give you the problem right up here in words, and you have to write it down to make it look like this. So we'll do this first one together, and then I'll have you do a couple on your own. It says 1/6 plus 1/2. So you're going to write 1/6 here and 1/2 here, and it's an addition problem. Skip count by the sixes. First count of 6 is 6, and 2 does evenly go into 6. It goes in evenly, so we're going to put a 6 down there, and 1/6 is obviously equal to 1/6. 1/2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. Add them together and get 4/6. All right, pause the video, do number 7 on your own, just number 7. Turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution to number 7. Here we go. 4/9, should have 4/9 written right here, minus 1/3. Skip count by the 9s. 3 does go into 9, so we're going to use 9 as our common denominator. And 4/9 is equal to 4/9, obviously. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. This is a subtraction problem, so we're going to get 1/9. Go ahead and pause the video, do numbers 8, 9, and 10. Turn it back on when you're done with all 3 of those. All right, 1/6 plus 1/4. Skip count by the bigger of the 2, that's the 6. And the first count of 6 is 6. 4 does not go into 6. Next count of 6 is 12. 4 does go into 12. So hopefully you knew to use 12 as your common denominator. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. This is an addition problem. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 5/12 is your answer. The next problem, you should have written down 3/8 plus 1/2. And that's addition. Skip count by your 8s. 2 does go into 8 evenly, so 8's going to be your common denominator. 3/8 is equal to 3/8. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. Addition, 7/8. 1/3 minus 1/5. This is subtraction. Skip count by your 5s. First count of 5 is 5. Does 3 go into 5? No. Second count is 10. Does 3 go into 10? No. Next count of 5 is 15. Does 3 go into 15? Yes. And so that's our common denominator. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtraction, and you get 2/15. All right, that's the page we just did. So now we've got several more problems to do. Let's take a look at these first problems together, and then I'll have you do some on your own. We have 2.5 plus 1/4. And we're doing mixed numbers here, a whole number and a fraction. So 2 and 1/2 changes into 2/4. 2/4 and 1/4 is 3/4, and the answer is 2 and 3/4. Here we have 9 and 1/2 minus 4 and 1/3. Common denominator of 2 and 3 is 6. So they change 1/2 into 3/6, 1/3 into 2/6, subtract and get 1/6, and then subtract the whole numbers. 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. All right, let's do this next one together. I usually don't bring these whole numbers over to here. I just leave them where they are and just put the fractions over here. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. So we have to find a common denominator of 4 and 3. Skip count by the 4. 4, 3 doesn't go into 4. 8, 3 does not go into 8. 12, yes, 3 goes into 12. So put a 12 on both. 1/4 times 3, that's 3/12. Times 4, that's 4/12. And when we add them together, we get 7/12. And don't forget the whole number. 2 plus 1 is 3. All right, pause the video, try number 14 on your own, and then turn it back on when you're ready to see the solution. Okay, number 14, your common denominator here should be 8. And 3/8 is 3/8. Multiply by 2. 2/8, subtract and get 1/8, but then don't forget 2 minus nothing is equal to 2. Your answer is a mixed number. Pause the video, do 15 through 18, then turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. All right, 8½ and 4 1/5. Common denominator here is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 2, 2. This is subtraction, so you get 3/10. 8 minus 4 is 4. The next one, common denominator of 4 and 6 is 12. 4 times 3, 1 times 3. 6 times 2, 1 times 2. Add them together and get 5/12. There is no whole number to include in that. All right, the common denominator of 3 and 9 is 9. 1/9 is still 1/9. Times 3, 3/9. Subtraction, 2/9. 2 minus 2 is 0. Do not write a 0 right here. The answer is just 2/9. And then the next one, common denominator of 5 and 3. We just did a problem like this a little bit earlier. That's 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we subtract and get 4/15 on the fraction. 9 minus 3 is 6. All right, we've got, what do we got? 6 more problems to do. Actually, this first one is done for us. What they're teaching us here on this next part is that if we get an improper fraction in our answer, we have to convert the answer to a mixed number that doesn't have an improper fraction. So in this case, my answer of 2 5/4, 5/4 is equal to 1 1/4, right? 5 divided by 4 is 1, remainder 1. 1 1/4, and we take that 1 and we combine it with the 2 to make 3. So the answer is 3 1/4 to that, not 2 5/4. Let's do this first one together, and then I'll set you off on your own in a second here. We got to hustle. 3/6 is 3/6. 1/2 is also 3/6. So when you add them together, you get 1 6/6. 6/6 is equal to 1. 1 and 1 makes 2. All right, pause the video, do the rest of these to the end. Turn it back on when you're ready to see the solutions. All right, you should have already done 21 through 24. If you can't handle all those, then just do 21. That's fine. You can watch that and then pause the video. So, oops, this should be 12. 12 here. 6 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. When we add them together, we get 2 19/12. Now, 19/12 is equal to 1 7/12. So this is 3 7/12 altogether. On this next one, we have 15 as the common denominator. And so here we're going to do times 5, that's 10. Here we do times 3, that's 12. So we get 22/15. 3 22/15, that's 1 7/15. So we have 4 7/15. All right. And the next one, 1 1/2 and 3 7/8. Our common denominator here is going to be 8. 7/8 is obviously equal to 7/8, and 1/2 is equal to 4/8. When we add them together, we get 11/8. 4 11/8. 11/8 is equal to 1 3/8. So our answer is 5 3/8 altogether. And the last one, 4 8/16, 2 1/2. 8/16 we're going to leave as 8/16. And 1/2 also becomes 8/16. We combine them together to get 6 16/16. That's equal to 1 right there, 16/16. So we put the 1 with the 6 to make 7 altogether. Woo! We made it all the way through in less than our 15 minutes. Hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching.